Picotin by Hermes, 1822. Barenia Faubourg Fauve Brown, the original. I don't know how to pronounce it in French properly, so pardon in advance for mispronunciations. I don't speak French. And this is in ebony dark brown, or eben, I believe that's how you pronounce it. So I believe the pebbled Barenia was first introduced in 2017. And I used to have a ebony dark chocolate, dark brown, 18 smooth Barenia in the original with the, again, I don't know how to pronounce this. Is it cyclamen? That purplish pink underside here, and in the piping underneath, which I sold because of two things. The flat handle, which holds slightly uncomfortably at the time for me, and the size, which was way too small for me at the time. So if you do not like flat handles, the Picotin I think comes in much larger sizes as well. So size is not necessarily a restriction. Definitely the flat handles and the open top, then this is not for you, this particular bag over here. Now, there is one frustration that I experienced when I was trying to research the lock, the padlock with the padlock here, which is a new iteration. And given that this is in a leather that's introduced more recently, it is all positioned in the, everybody who's reviewing it, who's looking at it, unboxing it, whatever, and also including Hermes's own website, has this as the front and the padlock dangling like that. As you notice, I do not use the padlock. And so this is like the side, like a more traditional tote. You have the handle usually on the flat side, on the narrow side. So then you handle it with this against your body. But if you look at the Picotin, this is actually the short side and that's the long side of the body. So let me comparison first between the 18 and the 22. So the 18 and 22 refer to the length of this, 22 centimeters and 18 centimeters. And so in most bags, in most totes or bucket bags, the handles are here. And so you hang it by the hand this way because you want this side to go against flat on your hip because it's more comfortable. Otherwise, this one sticks out of your hip and it can be quite awkward. But in this case, in the Picotin, the handle is not here. The handle is here. Now, the Picotin is a unit of measurement for oats, I believe, in the old French measurement system. And the bag here is modeled after a horse feeding bag. And so this is dangled from, I think I may have to start making videos face to face because these are not big bags and I'm already having trouble putting everything in frame. So this handles, if you imagine putting this around your ear, now I'm going to give you the point of view of the horse, and then the horse eat from here. So this is why this is longer than this. And so when you carry, it actually is very, very comfortable when you carry it like this, with this against your body. Not this, not the one with the buckle, not the one with the draping lock here. That's, to me, is a side. So that's the front for me. And this is why I love the Picotin, is this curve here. And I found it really, really hard to find any photo of the bag that is from that angle. So I find it really, really hard to find a bag that picture the bag from this angle, which is how I evaluate whether I like which size. And the 18 is beautiful this way because it's more because of the way gravity works and the way the size of it all. While for the 22, if you're like me, is a little bit of, it depends on the material, of course, on the leather as well. Here is a little bit harder to have that compact front. And yes, this to me is the front, not that. That's to me is the side. And I know once again that it is positioned by everyone influencers and marketing department as the front. To me, as a bag, when this is the front and with this sticking out, it's a completely different bag, and it isn't the bag, the sort of bag that is suitable to my style. But also, to lend credence to my argument, this is the long side and this is the short side. Remember that. And so I think we are used to the habit of holding our bag like this, with the handle this way, like that. And so the long side is sticking out of our hip. I wish I could show you full body example, but I will try. I don't know. Maybe I will insert, maybe I won't. But if you use your imagination, remember that's the long side and that's the short side. If you handle it like this against your body this way, it's actually really, really comfortable like that. And I really like it for that. But I notice a lot of people carry it like this, with a handle like this and this going against your body, which is the short side. The short side, so that long side is sticking out of your hip. Do you know what I mean? What I would like to tell you is that it isn't necessary for us to carry this bag like so, because the handle is already positioned along the side that is long here, while most bags are positioned with the handle like here. Let me just do this. This here usually is plastered here on the long side. And so we find ourselves carrying our bag with our hands sticking out like this. With the Picotin, you can carry your bag with your hand comfortably against your body like this, because of the positioning of the handle. I hope I'm making sense, or perhaps I'm not making sense at all. If I'm not making sense, I'll do a face-to-face shot. So this is how you carry it. This is how I carry it. And it's really, really comfortable carrying it like this instead of like that. Do you know what I mean? If I carry it like this, the long side is actually here. So the bottom sticks out of your body. I think I may have to do a face-to-face. But anyway, so first of all, flat, open top, not for you. This is not for you. Second, size. Depending, if this is the front, you wanted a really nice compact front. The 18 is, look at that. That's just elegance, isn't it? Beautiful simplicity, and design is in the details. And this can only happen with the fact that this is the long side and the handle is plucked on the side, which is very, very unusual. It is not like any other bucket bags. Sure, after Hermes designed it, people can copy it for sure. But that's when I would say the leather. I love Birkin, and so I can't say for other types of leather. I am going to have my first Epsom, and I'm actually really, really nervous because I don't know much about Epsom, and they're the sort of leather I thought that could easily be fake. Okay, so I actually carried like that. I don't like having the buckle down there dangling one side because it tend to, so that's how I carry it. And that being the front, and that being the side. And if you do buy secondhand or pre-loved, it is unfortunate that a lot of people tend to, I've noticed people squeezing this like this, pinching it, because they wanted that shape. And to me, it is actually that front, the sort of roundedness of the front here is what's appealing. And once you pinch it, then you have this really sharp, pointy bit over there. In my opinion, it doesn't look as appealing. And so for me, the padlock is pointless. It's just kept somewhere. I usually keep them all either in the box or in the bag. In the bag, it adds to the weight unnecessarily. And so the problem with putting that padlock as well is that if you look at this one, this face leans back more. So now I've lost the symmetry. So that face here, this side, is leaning that way more because of the heft, because the padlock hangs against it like this. And if you carry the padlock outside the body, imagine that is how you ended up with. I mean, look at that. That is not a very good shape. If this is against your body and this sticks out from your body like that, that is not a very appealing shape to me. And this one here, this side here got pulled further compared to this one. And this is what the shape you end up with. And so I really personally, if you're like me and you remember the old Picotin without the padlock, and the one that I sold, which I regret selling, but you know, at the time I just couldn't handle this flat handles in my hand was quite uncomfortable at the time. And so if you're like me and prefer, my old Picotin used to have a nice dip here because it's tight all the time, and it trained the leather to dip a little bit, and it sort of pushes this front forward like so. And this is what I love, this shape here. That is what I bought. That is why I buy the Picotin for. And so to me, that's the front. So good solid base. I love the leather. I don't think it'll be the same bag for me without the leather. And if you remember, I reviewed the Acne Studios one shoulder hobo bag. Everything about it conceptually is brilliant. But unfortunately, in the application or in the prototyping, I don't know what they do, but I was hoping the leather to be like this 1 grain leather. And this is not fake lining. This suede is actually the underside of this leather. And in many other bags, which I'll make a different video for, you will notice that the bottom is actually a different lining compared to the top. And with the in between here is padded. Even Hermes did that. In my my watch strap, my big cuff for my Apple Watch, one of the loops for the buckle started splitting, and I could see the underside is 1 layer of leather, the top side is a different thin layer of Barenia, and in between, let me tell you, was a sheet of foam. So, but that's only for the loop though, you know, where the if the buckle strap go through the loop, I'll show you in a different video. And I'll show you also the hobo from Loewe, the hobo men's collection puzzle hobo, which is a much better bag than the female or the women's collection hobo puzzle, which they've stopped making, I think. That create the impression, and I think the old school puzzle bag as well, if you turn the flap, I think you have this sort of suede underneath. But I suspect just by touching them, they're actually 2 different layers of skin. Underneath is 1 layer, the top is a different layer, and it's padded in between. While this, you can see, is a whole piece of leather right there. So yeah, so that's the Picotin. That is the front, and I will maintain so, and not the side. And that is the side. That's the front. That's the side. And yes, the loop is here and not here. The loop of the handle is on the sides, not at the front and the back. You see what I mean by the collapsing of the wall, that one there? That's because it's been draped by the strap with the padlock. And now the leathers, so I would recommend do not put the padlock, because what's the point? Anyway, you put the padlock here, people could still reach in. I would just do this. Well, yeah, you will bend the strap. The strap is not going to stay straight, but I mean, if you're not going to use your bag, what are you going to use it for? No, they're not investments. They're absolutely not investments. So yeah, so that side wall collapsing that way a lot more compared to that side is, it's a real shame. But anyway, and remember, Barenia is a leather that will have to wear discolored, marked, and will not remain pristine even in the pebble. And I've spoken about Barenia leather in a different video that I will link at the end of this video somewhere. Thank you. Bye.